Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. Guess what? We're going fucking deer hunting again. Can't kill a deer if you're not in the woods.
The ability to be in nature is a gift from God, but the ability to understand and appreciate the marvel before your eyes is an even greater gift. I made my way to my tree stand as stealthily as I could, and I sat, I watched, I waited, and I listened, and I felt the wind blowing on my face for a change, occasionally shaking rain from the leaves above my head. Every day of hunting is exactly the same, but every day of hunting is just a little bit different. And as I was in a different stand, I make it a practice to always range trees along the trail as soon as I get to my stand if there is daylight. So if an animal does show up, I'm not wasting time figuring out which pin to use. Range a tree, remember it, and if an animal is near a tree, then you know to use your 20, 30, 40, 45, or 50 yard pin. And I must be honest, anything beyond 50 yards for a shot, I don't know if I would feel comfortable even if I had a 10 pin sight. But I sat, watching, waiting, listening, and enjoying myself. The squirrel rut was in full swing, and I watched the fluffy little bastards scattering the leaf litter below my stand, swallowing my chewing tobacco. However, this one made himself painfully annoying, and so as the rooster crowed, I drew my bow, setting my pin just behind his shoulder, freezing myself inside for the shot. However, the reflexes of the squirrel never ceased to amaze me, and after recovering my arrow, I got back to deer hunting and bird watching. The rooster crowed while I examined the treetops as well. This, my friends, is known as a widowmaker, and you would not want to be under it if the gale force winds ever brought it down. I looked between the trees as far as my vision would allow, excited even though the unrelenting rain intensified. Occasionally I would check behind my stand, but believe it or not, even though I would hear a twig crack, there would be nothing. And so I sat, still swallowing my tobacco juice, waiting on Miss November or Bambi's father. The wind had changed, but it was blowing across me, and luckily not upon the back of my neck. But the rain began to become dangerous for my equipment, and I decided it might be time to call it a day for the first half of this hunting experience.
Now time for a short intermission. Now don't you worry, I'll be back in the woods right after dinner.
I made my way to a different stand. My hopes for success not diminished. The hunt is always exciting. This tree that I am sitting in is possibly a centennial oak, and it is far too girthy for my safety harness. So this evening I was hunting with caution. Everything was perfect. The wind was still in my face. The squirrels were still chasing amongst the leaf litter. Occasionally I could hear a turkey chirp out in the soybeans. Sitting, watching, waiting, just as I am wont to do while I am hunting, and enjoying the gift of God that is the ability to understand nature, even though it is fascinating and beautiful. Still swallowing my tobacco juice so as not to leave any scent in the area. I still sat atop my treetop perch, wondering if there would be any deer. All things were perfect. The wind and the magic hour was upon me. Smells of the forest entered my nose, and sounds of the wilderness entered my ears. There is nothing at all like the excitement of the unknown. Every twig, every rustle will make your heart race. I continued to watch the squirrels, not wishing to loose another arrow by chance of losing it. And I still would hear the turkeys off in the soybeans. The owls in the treetops above me signaled the coming dark. And I was able, through luck, to capture some of them on film as they left for their own hunts. The beauty of the twilight woods was upon me, and I marveled in the paintbrush of God, striking the canvas before my eyes. The occasional rain shower or gust of wind, the dropping temperature, the sounds I come from not where, all part of a true hunting experience. If hunting was easy, I would not draw nearly as much fulfillment from it. The hours in the stand were getting long upon me. But as the magic hours continued, the excitement grew to a fever pitch. Sitting as still as I possibly could, like a child on Christmas morning, it seemed. There is nothing louder than the sound of silence pressing on your ears, and the sights of a beautiful timber in the twilight are undescribable, which is why I work so hard to share them with you. Everything had been perfect. But as I heard the coyotes calling in the distance, setting out for their hunt as well, I knew that my hunt was drawing to a close as the woods began to become wrapped in darkness. I remained hopeful as the last of the shooting light faded. And finally, when all of it was gone, I removed my arrow from the string and felt fulfilled in a wonderful day spent amongst the trees, enjoying nature and pursuing a primitive passion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, ain't such a thing as a bad day hunting after all, and I got to spend most of the day in the woods. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at legallyconcealed.org. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you served in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.